ex-sex worker has penned a tell-all book called Modern Whore and admits she particularly enjoyed romping with an 80-year-old man. A former escort has written a book about her years in the sex work industry and claims that an 80-year-old man was one of her favorite clients. Canadian Andrea Warhin first got into escorting after visiting a strip club and deciding she wanted to be as strong and sexy as the women she watched writhing on stage. She said, "What I saw when I entered the club were dancing naked women on stage who demonstrated beauty, strength and elegance. I thought, what the hell is wrong with this? Why is this taboo?" To me it seemed like an inverted church, the stripper cum preacher on stage delivering her sexy, wordless sermon, the rapt congregation nursing their overpriced bottles of beer, the devout throwing their tithlings on stage, the most pious of worshippers looking to confess their sins in private for $20, £12, a song. I felt like I'd experienced a conversion. She decided she wanted to become a stripper, but a friend's mom urged her to take a different route. Andrea said, "I was surprised when she told me, 'Why don't you become an escort instead? It's private, you're protected by a driver, and you make a lot more money.'" She signed up for an agency in her home city of Toronto, called Toronto Sirens, and was making $260, £155 an hour, of which she got to keep $160, £95. But it wasn't only the cash that motivated Andrea, who admitted to seeing 4 clients on her first night. She also felt a genuine connection with some of her customers. She recalls the story of Albert in her Kickstarter-funded tome, who she describes as a retired banker and granddad. Writing in Modern Whore, she recalls, "I caressed the sagging skin of Albert's 80-year-old flesh with curiosity and joy because the man himself was alive. He had energy, undeniably youthful energy. I closed my eyes to the old man under the soft lights and the smoke screen of marijuana and felt myself making love to a man my age. A man in his early 20s, as if I were on a secret rendezvous with a lover. With him, I learned getting old was a choice. Albert made me happy to be alive. I thought about him often in my spare time. I spoke about him to friends, family, and even to my boyfriend, who once asked, as though reprimanding me, 'Are you sure you don't want to date him?' My opinion of Albert, however, was not shared by my fellow WS. I listened to girls in the car discuss him with disgust. 'Albert's a dinosaur,' they said. I attempted to defend him, but the girls grossed out by his age were louder. I'd not FD far grosser people have his age, people far less attractive, or intellectually stimulating or funny. He was so much more than his body." She told the Mail Online that she was inspired to put pen to paper in the hope that it would reduce the stigma attached to her line of work. The 27-year-old said, "I felt no shame about having sex with people for money. I like money and I like sex, so what's the problem? The shame I felt was the shame of others. Thankfully, I recognized the societal shame of sex workers as a reflection of our individual reluctance to acknowledge the importance of sexuality in our own lives, informed by a few thousand years of indoctrination that sex is bad and whores are worse. Times are changing though, and as more sex workers feel safe enough to come out and tell their own stories, the more accepting as a society we will become." A prostitute from one of the US's biggest love ranches has lifted the lid about what it is really like to work there. And a documentary revealed that Liverpool prostitutes are now charging the price of a meal as they go head-to-head with Eastern European sex workers.